Welcome back to Lions News. Fan Report. Tonight, we shift the spotlight from our newest draft picks and free agent signings to the real game changers hiding in plain sight, our coaching staff. You've heard rumors, you've seen the highlights, but now it's time to dig into why the new Detroit Lions coaches are absolutely blown away by one of our rising stars, and why that matters more than any blockbuster trade rumor. Just last week, during an intensive walkthrough at the Allen Park practice facility, Senior Offensive Assistant John Morton stopped mid-session to single out wide receiver Jameson Williams, our electric deep threat whose speed and precision have left coaches gawking. "I have not been around a guy like him," Morton declared, referring not only to J-Mo's 4.3-second 40-yard dash but to his football IQ and laser focus in the team meetings. And keep in mind, Morton's worked alongside quarterbacks and receivers in multiple playoff runs. When he speaks, everyone listens. His comments weren't offhand praise. They were a declaration that Williams is on track to become the biggest playmaker in our offense, if not the entire NFC North. Morton went on to highlight J-Mo's attention to detail, route perfection, crisp footwork out of breaks, uncanny timing on those back shoulder fades. In meetings, he's the one who always has a question, always the one pushing us to add another foot on the marker, refine another nuance in the blocking scheme, Morton said. That kind of dedication didn't just impress the offensive coaches. It has defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn redrawing his coverage calls before J-Mo even runs his first route of practice. Glenn knows if J-Mo sees an opening, he'll hit it every single time. But the excitement doesn't stop with Williams. Tucked into the same press briefing was mention of an undrafted rookie who's quickly become a favorite among position coaches. Jackson Meeks, a 6'2", 213-pound free agent out of a small college, who earned $200,000 in guaranteed money simply by walking through the doors. Meeks hauled in a one-handed deep ball during minicamp drills that coaches labeled Play of the Day, and claims of his ability to win contested catches in traffic have the scouting staff projecting it as a multi-year investment. One coach even quipped, "He's got the hands of a coffee barista, steady, reliable, and impossible to mess up." You can almost see Detroit's offensive wizardry unfolding. 3 receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown's polished route running, Williams' game-breaking speed, Meeks' fearless contested catch ability, lining up next to tight end Sam Laporta. As a lifelong Lions fan, I can tell you what this means. Our coaching brains are crafting an offensive explosion built not just on one superstar, but on 3 distinct playmakers. When Morton, Glenn, and the rest of our staff talk about matchups, they're salivating at the idea of forcing opposing defenses to choose who to shadow. J-Mo burns safeties deep, St. Brown exploits single coverage in the slot, and Meeks snatches anything thrown into his frame, creating windows on every down. If the coaches are this hyped in July, imagine what they'll cook up in Week 1. Now, I know what you're thinking. Are we overhyping? Maybe, but when a respected voice like John Morton steps up in front of the media and singles out a player as someone he's never seen before, that's more than buzz. It's a challenge to every defender in the league. The message is loud and clear. We're building around these 2 dynamic receivers, and the playbook will reflect it. Defensive game plans will crack under the pressure of covering our speed plus reliable pivot options. Before I wrap up, keep this in mind. In every championship era, there's a moment where the coaches find a hidden gem, someone they unleash. On opening day, for the 2011 Saints, it was Marquez Colston. For the 2015 Panthers, it was Devin Funchess. For our Lions, it could be Jameson Williams with Jackson Meeks as the X factor. The stage is set, the coaches are aware, and now it's up to these young athletes to deliver when the lights are brightest. If you're as fired up as I am, smash that like button, hit subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and ring the bell. You don't miss a single update on our coaching reveals and roster secrets. We've only scratched the surface tonight. Stay tuned for more insider analysis and breaking news as we march toward the season. The roar of Ford Field is on the horizon, and we're building a team worthy of that roar. If you're as excited as I am to see how these coaching innovations play out on the field, smash that like button, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and ring the bell right now, because we've only just begun to scratch the surface of what our new staff and rising stars can do. Now, let's imagine living through Week 1 together. The Lions break the huddle for the first series, and instead of the usual 2-receiver set, John Morton sends out 3 wideouts. Amon-Ra St. Brown motion shifts into the backfield, forcing a linebacker to follow him, then J-Mo explodes down the sideline on a vertical route. Jared Goff drops a perfect pass into his hands for a 45-yard gain, and the officiating booth checks replay to confirm his foot tapped the boundary. But no matter. The momentum is electric. Later in that same drive, Jackson Meeks splits the defense on a quick slant, jukes a safety, and bursts into the end zone. Imagine the shock on defensive coordinators' faces when they realize Detroit's head coach has mandated these looks from day one. That's the kind of season-defining aggressiveness these coaches are preaching. As the weeks roll on, we'll see the fruits of this approach in film rooms across the league. Opponents will have to choose who to double-team: the precise route runner, the home run threat, or the contested catch specialist. And if they overcommit to any single player, guess what? The other two will feast. That's the chess match our new coaches have set up, a 3-headed monster that can morph from a 13-personnel heavy set to a 4-wide spread in a snap, making Detroit's offense adaptable on every down. Defensively, Aaron Glenn will capitalize on the coach's offensive swagger by dialing up more fourth-quarter blitzes, knowing that if the offense moves the chains with J-Mo and Meeks, the defense can afford to gamble for turnovers. Imagine Aiden Hutchinson brawling off the edge on a stunt, while Marcus Davenport slips inside, forcing a hurried throw that lands straight into the arms of veteran cornerback Jeff Okudah. That sequence defines a team willing to risk it all. An aggressive football identity born in the coach's off-season meetings. Special teams will not be an afterthought. The coaching staff's faith in Meeks extends to the return game, where he could field punts and kickoffs with the same confidence he shows on offense. Picture Meeks catching a punt at the 10-yard line, flaring across the field behind a wall of blockers, then cutting back through an opening for a 30-yard return that sets up 1st and goal. That kind of hidden weapon can tilt field position and win games when the offense stalls. Of course, reality will test these lofty plans. Injuries, schematic leaks, and in-game adjustments will force the coaches to adapt. But with the staff already blown away by what they see from the Lions' receivers, we can be confident they'll tweak on the fly, adding jet sweeps, bubble screens, and even designed quarterback draws to keep defenses honest. If the initial playbook is anything to go by, the Lions will be among the most creative and unpredictable teams in the league. And let's not forget the human element. Jared Goff's leadership will be essential. He must trust his young weapons and trust that the coaches believe in them. When Goff throws a laser to J-Mo or checks down to Meeks in a pressure-packed moment, that trust will resonate throughout the locker room. Veteran players like Frank Ragnow on the line and Kerryon Johnson in the backfield will buy in too, knowing this isn't a one-year experiment, but a long-term vision. By mid-season, if the Lions are sitting at 5-2 or 6-1, the chatter around the NFL will shift. Analysts will praise Detroit's bold offensive makeover and credit the coaching staff for identifying J-Mo and Meeks as central figures. That's when playoff seeding conversations begin, and the Metro Detroit buzz turns into national respect. A franchise once mired in mediocrity could suddenly find itself as a sleeper candidate for a deep postseason run. No small feat in the brutal NFC. As the season marches toward December, weather will become a factor. Cold, snowy nights at Ford. Field favor physical play, but our coaches have already planned for that. Quick passes, inside zone runs, and 2-minute drills that don't rely on deep shots. In those conditions, the Knox brothers, Max and Caleb, could see more run plays, while Meeks and J-Mo thrive on short rhythm routes. The adaptability our coaches preached will be on full display. Thank you for tuning in to Lions News Fan Report. Stay locked here for every scoop, every update, and every highlight as we watch this bold new era unfold. See you next time on Lions News Fan Report.